Darrell Paulsboro. This show comes to you from Weiss's True Value Hardware, landmark on Broad Street in Paulsboro, serving this community and the environs for a very long time. I'm by myself. In fact, we delayed in taping. I could not remember Irma's travel schedule. She is busy in the southern states of this country spreading personality and stories of Paulsboro and corners. We'll have her back for the next show, so you're going to have to bear with me as far as the community notes goes. We've got an interesting program for you. When we come back, we'll talk to Newt Weiss about what's taking place here and visit with the chief of police, who's soon going to retire, but leaves, I think, quite a legacy. And we're going to talk about body cameras. First department in Gloucester County, with the entire department having cameras on the patrol people. Pretty interesting stuff. Chuck Tinder's going to visit us. We're going to talk to him about how the equipment and men have held up through this winter season. Although we haven't had heavy snow, we've had ice, we've had a lot of issues, and we'll have a surprise or two, I'm sure, before the show wraps up. So stay with us. We're coming right back from Weiss True Value on Broad Street. And by the way, I had to get the show on because Beth keeps saying to me, when's the new show coming? Beth, this is the new show.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. We'll start this show with the place we're at, which is Weiss True Value Hardware. Of course, they've been a long-time sponsor of the show. Been in Paulsboro doing business how many years, Newt?
84 years. My dad,
84 years.
Yeah, Dad started in 1932, and he's I'm second generation. My son Phil, he's third generation. He's
so you work for your father, and now you work for your son.
Correct.
Yes. That's steady employment.
Right. Keep things going.
Newt, the store's evolved over the years. I mean, they go from hardware to department store to hardware store, and it continues to evolve. And when we visit, we always like to talk about what's new to give people a sense of the variety that's here. So what's the latest?
The latest is our national aisle right behind us. It has over 1,000 hardware items, hook and eyes, angle iron, little things that you need around the house all the time. So we have quite a good selection now, so they come in and see our new area.
And by the way, if you need that, and the time you do need it, it's very important. If you're sitting home and listening to this saying, well, do I ever need one of those? Well, when you need it, you need it.
Right. It's better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it.
And, of course, some of the very basic services, we run over here on so many occasions with screens. Those kinds of services don't exist in a lot of places. Remind viewers of that.
Yeah, we cut glass, we cut mirror, different shapes, and we have a lot of things that are needed around the home. Right now we have a good selection of ice melting shovels that we're going to have for the upcoming next big storm. So.
I think there'll be one more. I mean, I can remember snow at Easter time.
Oh, yeah. I remember in March we had snow. I forget what year it was, but I know it was in West Different. All the ice was making the wires come down and caused a lot of outages of the electric. And it was a few days before they got it back to order.
We're very fortunate so far this year. Now, you've got some notes. Anything else on that page? Newt was concerned about reading from a script. I read from a script all the time. What else do you have?
But we have a new face page.
You have a face page?
Oh, yeah. And it's under Weiss True Value. And it's on the Facebook. So you go to Facebook and you'll see our ad and our latest things that we have in the store.
That's something that your father didn't have.
Right. They didn't have computers. Didn't have. In fact, they didn't even have saws and electrical saws in those. He was a contractor before he went to hardware business, and he did everything by hand. And no power saws, no power hammers, and all that stuff. But the houses are still standing that he built.
They were built right. Before we go to break, one of the things that always fascinates me is the computerized paint mixing service that you've become, I'm sure, very familiar with. Interestingly, there's no more lead in paint. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what's in paint anymore.
Pigment and water.
And water, yeah.
Right.
It used to be much more complicated.
Right.
Remember turpentine and everything else?
Oh, yeah.
No more.
Paint thinner and all that different ingredients that they don't have nowadays. It's modern technology.
Supposed to be better. I make that comment only because if you're painting a room, you bring in a sample, Lorraine or someone will help you. The computer will match that paint, mix it while you're standing there, and the True Value paint, we use a lot of it at the studio, is a very, very reliable coating, and you move a lot of paint.
Oh, yes. We have shipments coming in all the time to keep up with the demand. And, they keep changing some of the colors and what have you. We have a big selection of colors here that you can pick from. They take home and match it up and bring it back, and like you say, we'll make the color for you.
I'm most interested in the ice cream freezer getting restocked because I happen to like the ice cream sandwiches.
Well, it's going to be a couple more months before we restock that.
Counting the days.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're visiting with Newt Weiss, of course, his name attached to this business for over 80 years. That's quite an accomplishment. Most businesses don't make it, and most businesses never get past the first generation. But Phil is here now, and Newt worked for his father, now works for his son. That's steady employment. We're coming right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
And welcome back once again. We continue from Weiss's Hardware. Irma is somewhere between Florida and Louisiana. There's been no mention of scandal, nothing mentioned on the national news, and all indications are she's having a wonderful time. We probably should have set up with Skype. She could have done community notes, but we didn't quite think that far ahead. With me now is the chief of the Paulsboro Police Department, Chief Wachter. Been a long-time public servant here. Chief, for how many years, Chief?
Since 1989 here in Paulsboro.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when he took the oath. And nearing his retirement, he's announced at some point in the coming months you're going to conclude.
October, yes.
Yeah.
31 years. I don't think it's enough.
That's three decades of law enforcement.
Yes, it's been a long time. It's been a great time, but now it's time for next generation to step up and start taking control.
Well, I was just going to say that to you. You know, if you think about what you've seen in those 31 years and just how general police work has changed, it's changed.
Dramatically. Just the level of professionalism required, accountability, it's changed dramatically since the 80s. So.
And I thought you, yourself, and then your predecessor, Ken Rodinger, and Tom Sullivan, you guys did a real big job of making this department, I think, a very modern department because you're a department that's busy.
Very busy. For such a small town, only being 2.5 square miles, we average about 14,000 calls a year. We have a lot of issues, things that we've been trying to deal with. But yeah, we've been working very hard to be more progressive, more proactive, and less reactive. But, you do what you can with the limited resources that you do have.
Well, the thing I was always had a lot of confidence in when I served with you was I thought the reputation on the street was a good one. Where people did not view the department as being overly aggressive, but viewed the department as being effective.
We'd like to believe that. I'm sure there is a segment that feels the other way, but we are very community-based. We try to, get out there as much as we can, get into the community as much as we can. Last year we started, Coffee with a Cop. We're going to do one in a couple months. It was very well received, very well attended. In the summertime we did an ice cream with a cop at Donna Burt's. Again, was very well received, very well attended. So we think that these things help to break down those barriers, those communication walls that are there, and makes us more approachable.
I think it does, because people treat people they think they know differently than they treat strangers. And for your officers not to be strangers to people that are, that are here, that are real residents here, that's a big deal. Now, you're holding in your hand, and one of the reasons I wanted to have the chief on, not just to say hello to him and talk about his career, but also the Paulsboro Police Department is the first department in Gloucester County to equip all of its patrol people with body cameras. And this was long before the unfortunate incident that happened in the Midwest, that this was in the works, and Mayor and Council to be congratulated for being supportive. So, Chief, why don't you pick it up from there, because what are you holding?
Okay, this is it's a body-worn camera. It's made by a company called Taser International. The officers wear it in the center of their chest. It has a mounting bracket that attaches to the shirt. As you can see, it's smaller than a smartphone. It's very lightweight, very durable. It's very easy for them to function. It has the camera and built-in audio. We chose this camera because of its ease of use, durability, and the function for the officers themselves.
And what happens? I mean, how does that work? Because Bill Crane's not here. There's no video cassette attached to it. I mean, so where does it go?
Okay, it mounts to the officers wear a bracket that attaches to the shirt. The bracket holds the camera in the center of the chest. The reason the center of the chest is to get a full view of what the officer sees. The cameras, when they come in, they draw the camera from the charger. The camera's on from the moment they start the shift to the moment they end the shift. It is constant recording in a 30-second loop. Which means it's always recording. When they hit the center, if you see this big, large, round button, it'll activate the camera itself. It'll go back that 30 seconds and capture it, and then move forward from there. It has great HD quality. The audio is fantastic. But the best part of this system, the one that we like the best, is it sees what the officer sees. So in low light, it has low light. It doesn't have infrared or doesn't have night vision. It is what the officer sees. And the reason for that is for court purposes. So you don't want a jury to think, well, how come it didn't see, 3 blocks down the street, that guy, that's walking, that suspect. So it only just sees what the officer actually sees.
So after the shift, how's the information captured? I mean, where does it go?
Okay, when the officers are done, they plug it into a docking station. It automatically does several things. Begins to recharge for the next shift. It downloads the video. It goes to the cloud, to Taser International, where they store it on their servers. It's not, the video audio is not stored in our building. And then it also begins to receive any updates in the hardware or software that it needs from the company. Well, that's an important thing to note, too, that it is not stored, and that reason we did that is so that there can never be a challenge as far as an accusation of altering the video or changing the actual initial image.
And as it moves up, is it time dated?
It's time stamped, it's time recorded. It can never be deleted unless I, the chief of police, give authorization. All videos are stored for 90 days unless it's tagged as part of an evidence or part of a case. So.
It's just high
technology at its best.
It's just interesting stuff. I mean, and how durable is it if you get rolling around on the ground? I mean,
it can be dropped from up to 6 feet. It can be submergible for 30 minutes. It's waterproof. It's impervious to the wind, to the rain. Again, because of its durability, it's fantastic.
What was the cost, physical cost on this, Chief, to put the program together?
For the police department, it was a commitment of $71,000 over 5 years. It's broken up into different payments. It's 14 cameras, includes the licensing, all the updates, as well as the storage component to it after the fact.
It sounds like it's a good investment. How was it received by the department, the men and women, as far as having to deal with it?
With a little apprehension in the beginning, but we did our wear test in August. After the first couple shifts, they were 110% behind it. They are to this day. They understand the benefit. They understand the need, not only for the professionalism and accountability for them, but also to protect them for false complaints and things of that nature. So,
I think it's a good investment all the way around.
Can I just say one other thing? I just wanted understood that this was not a knee-jerk reaction. We started talking about body cameras with my predecessor, Frank Rogan, when he was chief. Technology just wasn't there yet. We had already been in the works since June with this program, so I just wanted understood that this is not a knee-jerk reaction to things that are going on in our society today. We've already been talking about this for a while.
I forgot Chief Grogan, by the way. I skipped the whole chief there.
Sorry.
So am I. If you're watching, Frank, sorry about that. We appreciate you as well. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
And our gratitude to the department. Often, police don't get called to a house because it's a birthday and come on over and have something to eat. These men and women get called when things are difficult. They have to see a lot of things that maybe you and I, fortunately, never have to see. So we expect a lot out of these average citizens who take an oath of office and wear a badge, a lot of responsibility and a lot of expectations, and we appreciate that. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like True Test paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. With me now is Chuck Tender. He is the supervisor of the highway department here in town. We always like to visit at least once a year, particularly around this time of year, because when you wake up in the morning after it snowed, you want the roads cleared. I think the department has performed well. And last year we talked about the brine machine that they had put together off of existing equipment, very effective. And Chuck, so first of all, welcome. And how is the department and how are the men holding up through the schedule?
Department and men are holding up well. We have 3 new trucks with plows on them. They all have 4-wheel drive, which is a big help in this snowstorm. Everything is holding up well.
I didn't realize you had 3 new trucks. I've seen a couple on the street that look different to me. That's a real accomplishment to get, because you need horses. I mean, you need manpower and you need machines.
Yes, we do. And with the new equipment, it helps a lot. We can get cleared the streets quicker and more efficiently.
And again, I said it last year. Well, first of all, any particular complications this year? We've been fortunate not to have 36 inches of snow at one time, but snow. Just this past weekend, you had snow, and out of nowhere, Sunday, I saw you guys out moving snow.
Yeah, we were out. It happened Saturday, late morning. We were out most of the day. We got done probably around 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Everything went well. Equipment held up well. We only had a couple of little minor repairs to do on plows, and that was it.
We've had some new streets in town, which looks nice. Chestnut Street is a big improvement. It's actually drivable now. How have you done with management? Only a former mayor, my father's watching. You budget for these things, winters. You try to budget enough, but when they come, you've got to move. So, I mean, has it been excessive overtime, or has it been manageable?
No, it's been manageable. We haven't had excessive overtime. We've used quite a bit of salt. We've used about 60 tons of salt, which is, when the snow melts and then it freezes again at night, we have to put more out. So we keep up with the salt.
See, interesting on the salt. I remember there was a time in a town like Paulsboro, the local towns, that salt wasn't used because it got drug into the homes. But salt, so use a pure salt or a mix of salt and sand?
No, it's a salt. It's just a pure salt, yes.
Fascinating to me, because now listen to this as you're watching. So you just heard Chuck mention the amount of salt he puts down on the road. That same truck he brings back after putting the salt down, you're not allowed to wash that out, are you? I mean, you tell that story. This
with the stormwater runoff, we can't have any of the salt or anything from washing the truck run down the storm drain. So they have to be cleaned in a certain area with a certain drainage system.
I serve in state government. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. I've said this to people who can't sort of break through. Now, think of what was just said. He puts tons of salt on the street. When the truck comes back empty, I guess you would lift the bed up ideally. You'd wash it out so the salt doesn't stay and clean it out. He can't just do that anywhere because there's a concern that the residual run from the truck is going to get into the storm sewer. Now, where do people think that the salt that was put on the road is going to go? Where does that go?
It goes in the storm drain and into the waterways.
Isn't government wonderful? That's what he has to deal with at the local level. So, Chuck, you're almost through the winter, but as Newt said earlier, I mean, we've had snow at Easter, so just keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
And soon you'll be sucking up leaves and doing that.
It'll start all over again.
It just keeps coming. Wanted to see Chuck Tinder because we don't take for granted the services. First of all, your tax dollars pay for them. These are really dedicated people. How many men do you have in your department?
We have 6 men, and we also have 5 part-timers.
So a total of maybe 11 people, and how many miles of road?
22 road miles.
Doesn't that sound interesting? We have 22 road miles being handled by 6 and 5 part-timers. I think to do a real good job. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
And welcome back. We're always happy to visit with one of the pastors of one of our churches in town. I recall when I was much younger serving as mayor, there was a given point where the bars had sort of gone away, and we actually had more churches than bars in Paulsboro, which there was a time that wasn't the case. And the churches in our neighborhoods are important for the obvious reason. But they play a role outside of the walls of the church in many cases. And with me now is Pastor Cynthia Holloway, and her church, its vision...
Christian Center.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm so bad with names. Many of the old timers will remember it as Bishop Hamilton's church. Right. And Pastor Holloway followed Bishop Hamilton as her career closed out and as she went home to be with the Lord. And how we have fond memories of her work. So with now is Pastor Holloway. And by the way, if that last name is familiar to you, that's because her son recently sworn into office to serve on Borough Council. So first of all, Pastor, thank you for being here. And we appreciate the fact that your son is in public service, but more importantly, your church plays a big role.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm very proud of him, and I'm looking for him to have a great future in Paulsboro.
Well, he was raised with service in mind. I'm confident of that. I'm very optimistic of the contribution he's going to make. But give us an update on the church community. People ride by the church every day. Many people may not know what the congregation is busy with. Maybe just an update on the church in general.
Well, right now we're trying to expand the church. The building is sort of old. We are purchasing steel, so we're trying to build a new building. It's kind of hard right now because of finances. We're living in harder times. So right now we're just monthly paying, and so we're looking for fundraisers, trying to meet the need to have the building built, because during that we're expanding rooms, and we're trying to have a vision that we can help unwed mothers and have space for, we have a vision for employment, to get people set up for employment, because we understand that the port is coming, so we want to get people to teach them how to do resumes and all those kind of things. So that's our vision for this new building that we're trying to build.
See, that's going to be very helpful with regards to jobs, because there's a requirement for Paulsboro hires and some of these jobs coming in. And the idea is to have these men and women ready. Yes. So when the announcement is made, those jobs can be filled and filled, hopefully, with some local people first. All that stuff counts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it does.
It counts in a very big way. How long have you been with your vocation?
I've been pastoring for about 18 years. at the church. I've been with Bishop Hamilton. I was with Bishop Hamilton for 34 years total.
That's 3 decades. That's that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you must have started in grammar school.
No, sir.
You're blessed with
No.
beautiful parents.
No, I'm 61 years old.
We're almost the same age.
Yes, sir.
I color my hair though.
I do too.
Now that's a pastor. That's a person who tells the truth. We've been visiting with Pastor Cynthia Holloway. You stop by and see her at her church. You'll find it a very welcoming place. And if you see in the paper here on Ion Paulsboro that the group is doing a fundraiser, community outreach, please get involved because the cause is right. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you very much.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Just a few odds and ends before we close the show. As I mentioned, Irma Stevenson is traveling the South. Phil has agreed to stand in, but he doesn't have a birthday list. But before we turn to Phil and just thank him for the hospitality, if you're driving down Commerce Street, Mantua Avenue, if you turn, look to Jefferson Street where the railroad bridge was, you'll see the new railroad bridge is in place. My goodness, 60 years overdue. But with all the criticism I've leveled at Conrail, it's important to recognize when something good happens, and this railroad bridge is simply wonderful. Not only is it sound and solid and not prone to that accident that occurred, well, then again, we're hoping they don't run a red light again, and when the bridge is up this time, not go through it. That wouldn't help. But the structure seems to be of real significance. And the rail line is very important, but safety comes first. So if you get a chance to look over that way, we'll have to do a complete segment on it as the weeks unfold. Phil, that's good news because you suffered through all that business loss and that rail thing. I mean, getting the town back on its feet has been a slow process, but you're still here, and we really thank you for the hospitality.
Well, thank you, John, for shooting the show here again today. We really appreciate it, and we are moving forward. We've been through couple things over the last couple of years, this town, and everybody's rallying back and looking forward to moving forward. Spring will hit. Hopefully things will get active again.
You know, I'm in the store. I came in yesterday moving and tried to get in and out. The place looks like too orderly. What's going on?
We have employees that have taken over and decide to start cleaning up and getting rid of some old stock, and we're going to get some fresh stock in here and be ready to go for spring. Sort
of makes you nervous because a big part of coming here I always enjoyed was hunting for things. Now you can actually see things. Maybe not,
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Interesting. For Bill Crane, our producer, who couldn't be with us, for Irma Stevenson, who's traveling the South, and for Fred Buchter behind the camera, thank you. And as Irma would say, see you on Broad Street. And as I will close by saying, until next time.